Everyone know Cleopatra as a symbol of beauty, as a femme fatale, as a legend who died from a snakebite. But almost no one talks about the most important thing. Cleopatra is not a love story. It is a story about how one person can rewrite the fate of an empire. The two most powerful men of their time, Julius Caesar and Mark Antony, lost their heads, lost their power, lost their future, and all because of one woman. The question is not whether she was beautiful. The question is something else. What exactly did she do to people? Cleopatra was not born into a fairy tale. She was born into a family where brothers killed brothers, and daughters were simply instruments of power. The Ptolemaic dynasty is not the pharaohs from textbooks. They were a Greek mafia that ruled Egypt. Intrigues, poisons, conspiracies, coups. And in the midst of all this was a girl who had been taught one thing since childhood. Either you rule people, or people will destroy you. She studied languages, philosophy, psychology, rhetoric. Cleopatra was the first ruler of Egypt in 300 years who actually spoke Egyptian. She was not naive. She was prepared. When Julius Caesar entered Alexandria, Cleopatra had already been exiled by her own brother. She had no army. She had no support. She had only one chance, and she chose the strangest move in the history of politics. She ordered herself to be wrapped in a carpet, and in this form, she was brought to Caesar's chambers. He unrolls the carpet, and before him appears a young woman, confident, calm, looking him straight in the eye. It was not seduction with her body. It was seduction with a script. She does not ask for help. She offers an alliance, not as a woman, but as a player. Julius Caesar is not a romantic. He is the coldest politician of his time, a man who destroys entire nations without emotion, and it is he who begins to make irrational decisions. He intervenes in the civil war in Egypt. He puts Cleopatra on the throne. He stays with her for months. He risks his reputation. He risks his power. He even brings her to Rome as a queen. The Senate is in shock. Rome hates her. But Caesar is blinded. This is the first sign. Cleopatra did not just appeal to men. She disrupted their strategic thinking. If Caesar lost his caution, then Mark Antony lost everything. Antony was a military hero, a legend of Rome, a soldier respected by the army, and he came to Egypt and literally disappeared. He stops living in Rome. He throws endless feasts. He gives away land. He ignores politics. Historians write, Antony became a different person, soft, distracted, dependent. He is no longer a strategist. He is a character in her play. The most frightening thing about Cleopatra was that she did not manipulate directly. She did not pressure. She didn't threaten. She didn't demand. She did something much more dangerous. She made men feel chosen. With her, Caesar was not a politician. He was a hero. With her, Antony was not a soldier. He was the god Dionysus. She didn't take power. She gave the illusion that power was meaningless without her. And while Antony was playing at love, another man appeared in Rome, Octavian. He was not charismatic. He was not handsome. He was not a legend. But he was rational. He was cold. And he had absolutely no illusions. He did not fight Antony. He waited for Antony to destroy himself. And he waited. In the decisive battle, Antony retreats because he saw Cleopatra's ship. He abandoned his army and lost the war. When Cleopatra realizes that all is lost, she does not ask for mercy. She chooses death, not as defeat, but as a final gesture of control. Because Cleopatra could not be a captive, only a legend. Rome won. Egypt became a province. But 2,000 years have passed, and we still do not remember the names of most emperors. But we remember her, not as a ruler, not as a woman, but as an archetype. A person who proved that charisma can be stronger than armies, an illusion more dangerous than reality. Cleopatra did not conquer the world. She did something more terrifying. She showed how easily the world conquers itself through human weakness.